Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games here to do my weekly comic review, and today we're going to the final frontier. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, Lost Contact #1. Now, this book is brought to us by Layne Morgan, I think that's how it's pronounced, and I'm really pulling slow with this artist name. I'm going to give it a try. Corali, Espuna, I think that's going to be pronounced. It's Espuna. It's a little squiggly thing above the end. Anyway, a little backstory. I'm a long-time Star Trek fan, long-time sci-fi fan, so I've read a lot of Star Trek comics. I'm most of the way through watching Starfleet Academy. Got 2 episodes to go at this point in time, so we're kind of jumping in here and seeing what we think about them in comic book form. And first and foremost, I don't think you can draw the Athena and make it look great in comic book, but that is actually a really good attempt. It's really a heavily CGI ship, so drawing it out is going to be a little more difficult. Base story. They've gone to this planet. I just skip past the name real quick. I'll go back to it. Let's see. We're over CK2. And we're sitting down characters from the War College and from the Academy for joint operation on surveying a desolate planet. And we have Genesis Layne as our main character, and Jadine, our Klingon, as our main backup character. And 3 characters from the War College. Mir, Tamara, and Kyle. There's a classic Star Trek name. Cadet Kyle. So anyway, they're beaming down. Joint operation between the War College and the Academy, and they're going to have simulated difficulties, and this ensign will be along to activate basically holographic problems from them to solve. After they're down, the first holographic problem is acid rain. And as we're trying to figure out, because basically there's one leader from the War College, one leader from the Academy, and they start arguing amongst themselves over what they should do. You know, acid rain, we should immediately take cover, is Jaden's perspective. One of the other people want to get a scan of it first, and one of the War College guys is going off, it's fake acid rain, why are we so worried about it? And they continue to argue until they get -10 points for failing the acid rain challenge. But one of the people, I think it was, is that Kyle? Now I don't see his name real quick. Anyway, he notices a purple amongst all the green, and all the holograms are going to be green, so he knows this has to be real. And then we cut away to our Chancellor and our Commander, also kind of bickering about the lack of performance from the cadets. And then he notices that they're having a hard time contacting them. And eventually they're almost completely losing communication. Find out that there is a storm coming in. It's an ozone storm, which is kind of a weird storm when you think about it for Star Trek, because it's mostly ion storms. So ozone storm is kind of different. So we continue to bicker among ourselves about what they should do. Now she wants to go make, Genesis wants to go make first contact. Jaden is against it because he says it'll be too dangerous. And they kind of keep going back and forth. they do get a communication from the ship that says, the storm's disrupting techs. Wait out the storm. Wait for us. Stay near the oxygen resupply. Do not beam out. It'd be too dangerous. And after that, they realize that they're on their own because communication is completely lost with the ship. And we have this really, really well drawn. We give ours some pretty good credit. That is a cool way to use the shadowing and the effects of the storm rolling in on the cadets. I do like that. After once again debating more, Genesis just decides she's just going to rush the alien to go make first contact and tell them who she is. The alien's response looks like some sort of flute instrument here. Anyway, it turns everything purple. And as everybody suddenly realizes that in this purple field, nobody can hear you argue. They're completely silenced. And it ends with her saying, and I was a leader without a voice. To be continued. And this is our cover for next month. Pretty cool start. Very short story. It's only, I didn't even count it. I'm just kind of curious how many pages we even got here. Let's see. It's a 20-page story, so a little below average on story page count. I can't even really criticize the characterization. I do think it's, pretty accurate with Jaden and his constant concern about things and worrying about people getting hurt all the time. Genesis hasn't had enough development in the show for me to say if this is a dead on or not dead on. She's had some shining moments in the show, but very few, and not anything that's really allowed me to latch onto her character. The War College characters, I don't actually know if they're actually from the War College. I can't remember enough of the War College characters. The only one that was really sticking in my mind was the Vulcan, who just died in the last episode that I watched. So he's not in this. But, I mean, this is very, I wouldn't say atypical, but a pretty basic, good story. It puts the cadets in a dangerous situation, cut off from the ship. Very classic Star Trek elements, enemy within type situation where, you could have had a whole cool story with Sulu on the planet, without even taking into fact the evil clone of Kirk and stuff on the main ship, which was your main story. But you could tell a comic book story based on Sulu's stuck on that planet. Probably over the years in comic books, some probably did actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And this is kind of that same gist. It's very basic, core Star Trek concepts, going in a little bit mysterious ways, using the current characters from the current show. So I'm gonna give it a, if I was doing a grading system, a B minus. Story's too short. Way too much setup with not enough arc, but it's probably a 4-ish issue story arc. So, I mean, it's only the opening act, first 15 minutes of the show, so it's not bad. Like I said, nothing to enamor me to crazy levels, but these are characters that I'm not as attached to. They're not as developed in the show. Jaden is probably the most developed characters being used in this episode or issue. So it's a little bit, kind of pulling teeth to get any characterization. So a little bit of free will for the writer to kind of, as long as they don't go against what little we've seen, they kind of do what they need to do with their story arc to get it across. So good character choices, in my opinion, because you got more of a blank canvas to work with. Like I said, it's good. If you like Star Trek, I think you'll enjoy it. If you're looking for hardcore sci-fi, it's a little soft. And not a lot of action. If you're looking for a lot of action, because it's mostly debating and arguing. But that could change in the next issue when we have no ability to talk. We're now dealing with the alien who gets introduced more or less at the end of this issue. So, I mean, check it out. It may go pretty good. It should be, pretty watchable, pretty readable. All right. Live long and prosper, and I'll see you next week.